Hello, this is Jacey Zembal of the Wolfpack Central, coming on a lovely Saturday morning. Lots of scuttlebutt over the last few days on who NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan has met, whether it's Will Wade, whether it's a second meeting with Will Wade, Justin Gainey, the Tennessee assistant. Obviously, Wade's at McNeese State. This is that point of the time where obviously Gainey's very busy trying to win an SEC tournament title as an assistant coach at Tennessee. But Will Wade has all the time in the world to recruit, to meet with athletic directors, to do different things, because McNeese State has time off until they reach the NCAA tournament. Now, one of the things that's always fascinating about coaching searches in the interview process, athletic directors love coaches who have plans. You know, some coaches are so deep that they'll basically spell out what it's going to be like over the next year or two and be very detail oriented. But what they want to see from a coach, do they know the returning players at NC State? Do they know the recruiting signees that have already happened? In this case, Zamichael Wilkins from Arden High School, Ricardo Greer Jr., who's in Dayton, Ohio. Those are the type of things that ADs love. They also want to know what's the plan for the portal. You know, the portal starts March 24th. You have to have a plan going into it. So those are all things, little things, but key things. You know, a coach who thinks that they can go into a meeting with an AD and just kind of maybe wing it a little bit, that's not going to fly as much. You know, having that plan, knowing what positions to address, knowing what returning NC State players they want to build around. A smart coach would be like, hey, you know, we want Zamichael Wilkins. They don't have any other post players returning other than Ishmael Doof. We want Paul McNeil to come back. He showed promise at the end of the year. We're going to bank on the idea that he's going to take a step forward. Off season in the weight room, all the things that he needs to do, he could be a good ACC player next year. That would be the hope. I think the one returning player that maybe is a little bit slept on, a little bit underrated, could be Dennis Parker Jr. And the reason I say that is, you know, he has shown flashes, but no consistency. If there ever was a player that looks like he needs a fresh start, it'd be Parker. You know, people forget that before the big run, he was the small ball starting forward as a freshman. It was his job in late December, early January of his freshman year. So, you know, if he could put everything together and bring that inside-outside versatility, it wouldn't surprise me if a smart coach would want him back. Now, whether Dennis wants to come back is up to Dennis. But in terms of trying to get guys to come back from this past year's roster, he'd be a key guy. So if you have Parker, you have McNeil, and you have Wilkins, then that means that you just have to add guys around them. Realistically, I know that there's a lot of scholarships available, but most coaches aren't going to use all 13. That's going to be something that will be interesting to see. Mark Gottfried loved to roster around 10, 11 players. Kevin Keatts went 13 because he's been stung by injuries. So it can go different ways. But, you know, at the end of the day, though, a lot of players are going to have to get added in the portal. But you at least want to have a handful of guys who could be back. So that's one of the things. Have a good plan, know the roster, put the time into the synergy to watch the NC State games this past year, know the recruiting targets or signees. And, you know, the cherry on top is smart coaches are going to be like, okay, my first call is to Cole Clower from Greensboro Caldwell Academy. My other calls are going straight to Latrell Allman from Richmond John Marshall, who played with Dennis Parker in high school. You know, I know that Jordan Page and Raleigh Broughton is a key 2027 guy. You know, LJ Smith at Lincolnton High, another sophomore. Charles Purr at Burlington Christian. CJ Rosser at Rocky Mount Northern Nash. And then the other great sophomore who's not into state technically at the moment, but maybe he'll come back. Who knows? But Greensboro native King Gibson, who's a sophomore at Mount Verde Academy. It'll be interesting to see what he does because Mount Verde Academy's legendary coach, Kevin Boyle, just left. So I'm sure King will be on high school number 3. Maybe he'll be in this area. But that's what I would look at is having a plan, knowing the roster, knowing the signees, knowing some of the recruiting targets. That's what ADs probably will love in one of these extra meetings that are coming up. This is Jacey Zembal from NC State Rivals, the Wolfpack Central. 50% off for new subscribers for the next year. All our good socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all that good stuff. I have a hunch that in the next few days, there will be some serious movement because it's about that time.